You like change? Yep. Your hand up, change? Okay, that's not a good start. Because I tell you, you're liars. You said earlier, it's time to rethink. 96% said it's time to rethink. That's not really a good question. It's more, will you rethink? Because it's one thing to say, I love change. But really, we as individuals, human beings, we don't like change. We're striving for habits. We want to know where we're going to sleep every night. We want to have our salary once a month. But change is something we like to see when it hurts others, not ourselves. If you come home from this conference and your partner say to you, sorry, but I think we need to change our relationship. Is that something you look forward to? So instead I use another word saying disrupt or die. I think it's much more clear, Either you disrupt or you're going to die. So what is changing in the world of music business? And I say everything, because everything continues to change. And for us in the music business, it was the distribution, the A&R, the marketing, and human resources. Then human resources. Angie Mendes, I think was her name, was talking about you have to change your team, and that's really something I would encourage you to do, because homogeneous teams are really worrying to be part of. When you talk about design, and you talk about building houses or building factories, building new roads and environment for the future, you have to have people that think different from yourself. And where do you find them? Well, you think, maybe architecture school. I think you should look at Roblox, Minecraft. But though they don't have any education and they don't know what they're doing, I just say, it's not about education anymore. Of course it is. You need to know, of course, how construction-wise how you do things. But when it comes to design, it's something totally different. And you need to have those people in your team. If you look at your team, whatever you sit today, and you say that if you look at, okay, how old are we? Where do we come from? Which city, which part of the country, which age group, have we some different culture? If you don't, you're not doing the right thing. You need to bring in people that think different. They don't need to know everything about building a house or building a road, but they will help you think outside the box. The music industry now are disrupted, not because of a pirate that came in and stole everything, but thanks to evolution. Or should we say it, revolution, because that's what it is. And you can't control it. Everything goes so fast that change is happen everywhere, in our lives. But I say change will never again be this slow. It's just going to go faster. So you have to be prepared. And it's also good because if you haven't changed so far, you can just jump on the train today. But you have to decide. If we live 10 more years, all of us in this room, we'll be living until we're 120. Then you can't just sit down on your bum doing the same thing you always have done and you think you're going to survive. You're going to live long. Prepare for that. And prepare to be educated, be illuminated, be curious of what's going to come, and try to make mistakes. Because that's maybe the most important thing. Because in the music business I work with, it was important to hire people that the artists want to go out and have a beer with. Today it's not that. Today I hire, and that time I was at Universal, but also today we hire data analysts. We hire, entertainment lawyers, and we hire, smart people that can think outside the box. And we do the same when it comes to, it's important also for you not to only be digital immigrants like all of us are, but to find these kind of kids that are totally, their way of looking at things and the solution. When I again go to Roblox, and you should have competitions with kids, putting them together and see who are the craziest person, and bring them into your team. Let them be there and see what they create. If maybe don't do anything fantastic, but they're going to learn you to think different, to rethink. And so it's charismatic people, no, go away. We're looking for the obsessed ones, the revenge of the nerds. But I truly believe in this. And yeah. And then I think we talk about we need to do different things, but there's nothing like a perfect launch. You never know what to do. I mean, you can say that, I know what I should have done 3 months ago. Yeah. But today, you just need to launch it, and then you just check on it, what's happening, how it's going, and then you take it back, you fix it, and you iterate it out again. I think that's so important, not to be afraid of releasing something that is not 100% finished, because you never know if it's going to be 100% finished, perfect.
Thank you so much, Per. Fantastic.
We have some minutes left.
We do have some minutes left. I've got some questions for you.
Good.
And we might be able to have some time for some questions. I'll check the ones that are coming through from the online viewers as well. First of all, I was dying to ask you how true the playlist was, so it was great that you shared your stories, and I guess it was before Uber came along and disrupted transport, so it didn't affect your rating when you had that row with the taxi driver.
It would have been bad, yes.
One thing I really enjoyed about your speech was those nuanced perspectives about how we work here in the Nordics. A place really famous for innovation and tech, but you also talked about that caution, that same people over lunch, the same routines. What do you think needs to happen here, or what other regions could we be inspired by in terms of different ways of working and interacting in the office?
I think we should be inspired by each other, but I think the key thing is to be inspired by the younger generation. You know, I was just thinking, I was in Oslo 3 weeks ago, and I haven't been in Oslo for, I think, 4 years or something. And I was amazed by how the silhouettes of Oslo is now looking. It looks like, I don't say Manhattan because I'm thinking, but it's from a Scandinavian perspective, it was like, wow, something is happening here. You know, someone is doing something, looking at the future. But I feel that, you know, we also have, of course, regulations, and I'm being quite frank here, but I think that we're not living in a democracy. We're living in an anarchy, because if 3 people can, you know, appeal a decision that we all want to take, you know, and 9 million people wants to have more wind power, then we can't do it. We can't build it. Or we have I don't know how much extra this Slussen venture cost us taxpayer, because some people say no. And you know, that's also something that we need to think about. And I thought it's easy to stand up here and say all the change and do all these things, but we have to try. If we don't try, we're gonna diminish. You know, and I think that's the most important thing. But also, in my assistant who controls my calendar, she said, you can't say yes to that. You can't have that meeting. But I always said, take a meeting with someone that's not part of your tribe. That you're one of the guys because there's always someone that's interested in what you do. It could be someone from school, from university. That person can be your best friend, or can be your best investment, just because you met he or she. Be a mentor. Try to help people out there, and you will get so much back. It could be that you don't get anything back, of course, but you have to try and take that. I say it's an opportunity. Yeah. And go out and you help if you're HR department or whomever, but I think you should do it much more than you do today.
I think that's great, turning risk into a potential opportunity. Yeah. We've got questions coming in for you, so I'm going to jump into those from the audience now. This one says, with reference to TikTok and also the gaming industry, Minecraft, Roblox, how can marketing teams obtain relevant decision-making leads from these platforms when the age ranges can be so young? So I guess, yeah, it may be harder to use a test and think about branding in those younger age groups.
This is $1 million question, because, you know, today everyone is thinking, how can I use TikTok and, you know, using the influencers there or having free marketing? That's what everyone looking to. And I think the only thing I know for sure is you just need to iterate, trial and error. You know, launch, test, learn. I mean, it's even though tell you, because it's now we're talking about algorithms, but it was, if you release a song, which we did, and this is 5 years ago, and it didn't kick off. It didn't spike. It wasn't because we have all the data today, and the algorithm of Spotify knows everything. You know how long we listen, if we skip it, if we shared it, if we saved it, everything, and that's triggered the algorithms. And we had a song that was nothing, and we looked at, is there somewhere in Sweden where this song is working well? Yeah, it was in cities less than between 25,000 to 45,000 people, women in the age group of 45 to 55. So what we did, we just did marketing to them. And since they liked the song got really good, feedback from to the algorithms. And so by doing that, it increased the streams, and then the algorithms started to push it into playlists. And that's how we brought it back. And I would tell you even a crazier story. It is that using AI, so if all of our grocery stores have all the feedback or info about us. So there is the one company in the world that has the most data on us as what we shop is Alibaba, the Chinese Alibaba. They're splitting up the company now, but they have huge data, and they need to know in a microsecond if me going into their services. If I, as an individual, has credit value, meaning can they give me a payoff program for 12 months or something in microseconds. And of all the data they have, you can't guess this, but an algorithm has found this. Which one was the most important to show that you have credit value, that you can loan money to them? The smartphone, but what was the smartphone? If you have if your battery never goes down below 70% in battery capacity, from the battery, then you are top payer. So all of you who goes down there and your battery is empty, I don't say anything about this is Alibaba in Asia, so it's maybe not for you, but this is just a comment. But that's very interesting. How can you can't find it without AI or algorithms.
Interesting question here related to AI. Just quickly before we wrap up, what is your view on the music created today, potentially by AI? Does it have the same potential as ABBA, Queen, and the greats of the past?
I think that
it will be rediscovered in the future.
Yeah, I think that right now everyone is experimenting. And what's happened with the Weeknd and the Drake song that went out, and it was a big thing. That was an AI song. That wasn't Drake or Weeknd, but it was created from an AI tool, and it was huge exposure. It's only streamed. It was when I saw it 250,000 streams, but Drake's stream on his huge catalog increased 10%. So it could actually be a marketing tool for the real music, because that's what we're going to. I think that what is a synthesizer? What is a synthesizer? Is that fake? Because you can play piano, violin, trumpet on a synthesizer. Is that AI? I think it's not AI that's going to steal your jobs or my job. It's the people that understands and embrace AI that will do it.
So disrupt or die.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us here at the Nordic Film Summit. Per Sundin.
Thank you very much.